in that picture?
Lower right.
The one on the right? Any more guesses?
No way to know.
What was it?
There is no way to know.
There is no way to know. So pretty much, I told you all, I am undocumented, right? I probably fit the stereotype of what an undocumented person looks like. I have an accent, I am Mexican, I am somewhat dark-skinned, maybe a lot lighter than a lot of my fellow Mexicans. But yeah, there is no way to know. All of these people right here, they're second, third generation U.S. citizens. They are not undocumented or immigrants, as a matter of fact. Can you find an undocumented immigrant in this picture?
No.
So I'm going to give you a clue. There are actually two. And I do have the permission to show their picture and to talk about their status. No guess? Now we're scared of guessing? So, Sonny Patel, he came from India. He is undocumented. He was one of my fellow classmates at the Illinois Institute of Technology. He is now currently studying aerospace engineering. But at the moment, even though we have deferred action for childhood arrivals, which provides us a way for, it's a work permit for DREAM Act eligible youth, he's still not able to practice his career because in order for him to practice aerospace engineering, he needs to be a U.S. citizen. So regardless of all his education, all his hard work, he's still not able to practice. And this picture, Agla, she came from Czechoslovakia. She is also an undocumented immigrant. A lot of people could never guess she's undocumented because she is white. She is a white immigrant. She speaks perfect English. And a lot of us, we just do what every other youth will do. And there is no way that you can actually tell when someone is undocumented or not. I know a lot of U.S. citizen friends who actually have a much pronounced accent than I do. And that is just because of circumstances, because of places where we grow up. It has nothing to do with nationality or with citizenship status. Agla, there's something about Agla that actually makes her stand out because she is in a position of privilege as a white undocumented immigrant, and she has decided to come out of that safety zone and to say, I am undocumented. Now she even speaks of how she is privileged enough to not having to show her ID or documents whenever she is stopped by the police or by anybody when there is a traffic stop. If this was to be is this a class period?
Yeah, sorry.
No, it's fine.
Yeah.
If she was to be dark complected, she will pretty much be stopped, and that stop might even lead to her being taken to a police station and eventually being turned into white. And she speaks of this privilege as a white undocumented person. Do you all think these two people right here are undocumented? Now we learned. Yeah, so neither of them are undocumented. They're also U.S. citizens. But Patrick and Alicia, they work for undocumented immigrant rights. Patrick is actually working for PASO. It's a suburban organization working to create some sort of mental health services to undocumented families who have gone through deportation proceedings. How many of you know something about how deportations happen? Some you know, some don't know. So pretty much, have you all seen on TVs when the police comes in, like in movies or something, like just breaks into homes and there's a raid? So So that's exactly the same thing that happens to undocumented immigrants. Except that this is real life. This is the real thing happening. Many times ICE has a record of people that, right now there's this program called Secure Communities that provides a lot of this database, this kind of a connection between police and ICE. And pretty much anybody that gets into the system with the police, whether it's traffic violation, anything that will get you into the system, it pretty much triggers a flag for ICE if there is no proof of citizenship, social security number, or something. So pretty much ICE is the agency, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, the agency that is in charge of kind of just picking up all undocumented people and more, except that that's their main concentration in regards to immigration services. But pretty much what happens in raids is that, let's say a person had a 20-year-old DUI. So this person had a DUI when he was 16. Now he is a father. He is no longer, a crazy 16-year-old. He already served everything that he needed to do for that DUI, but ICE comes knocking at the door with his little children, with his wife still sleeping, let's say at 5, 6 in the morning. That is usually the time that ICE comes into the raids. They start knocking at the door, and eventually they start asking for people, or they even ask, can I come in? They are not supposed to come in, but because people are afraid to say no, because this is a person that's coming out full of all this suited up, I don't know, very scary suits, they tell them, yeah, that we are not hiding anything. So they come in, and that's when the raids happen. Children are present. The father might get arrested in front of the children. The father is taken out. If ICE starts asking about other people's citizenship status, other people, that, like let's say the wife was actually also undocumented, but she had no criminal record or anything, just because she was in that space, she might get taken too. So as of now, these kids are watching everything. And let's say they are U.S. citizens. If there is no one to take care of them, they might get taken by family services. And eventually, many times these kids are put into adoption, even though the parents are there. The parents, because they are documented, they might be considered unfit parents because they brought their kids, or they are here to provide a better future for their kids, well, they are unfit. So pretty much this is kind of a situation of how people get detained. This is very common, and a lot of people don't know that ICE just goes in and does all of this at 6, 5 in the morning. So that is why Pedrick has noticed that there is a high depression and anxiety disorder rate among undocumented youth and among youth who happen to be children of undocumented parents. So that's why he's working to develop something. Alicia, she works for Forward.us, which is a national organization created by Mark Zuckerberg, Facebook's founder. And pretty much this organization works to try to pass some national legislation that will help undocumented people become U.S. citizens, because they have seen the need for undocumented people to be able to work legally, since we are pretty much one of the biggest, creators of new businesses, of economy, and we're just not allowed to do this. So what is a community? Any clues? No? We don't know what a community is? Are you all in a community right here?
Yes.
Yes. So yeah, I started to learn what a community meant when I started going to Harold Washington College. And I talked to my professor, one of my first classes at Harold Washington College was a social science class where we were asked to do a presentation where, I don't know, we will pick a topic. We just needed to check with the teacher that it was okay to pick that topic. So I walk up to my teacher and I ask her, is it okay for me to do it on the Dream Act? And for the first time, I got the weirdest response in my life. And her response was, are you undocumented? Because if you are, there's a scholarship, you need to be in Rigo, you need to join OLAS, Organization of Latin American Students. Don't let anyone tell you you can go to college. And I was just kind of shocked. Because I had just asked this lady if I could do a presentation on the Dream Act. And that's all I told her. And she pretty much provided me with so many resources that at the time I didn't even know what she was talking about. Eventually, I did go to the OLAS meeting that she recommended. And that's where I met Rigo, the person that she had told me that I should meet. And at that time, Rigoberto Padilla was currently undergoing deportation proceedings. He was 19 years old at the time. And he was walking around with an ankle bracelet that he had to charge, so he had to be plugged into the wall every night. Because if that thing ran out of battery, the police would be after him. He could only go from his home to school and back. That was it. So Rigoberto Padilla was actually a very active student. He was one of the best students at the college, at Harold Washington College and at UIC. But he had made one mistake that pretty much changed his life. And that mistake was driving under the influence after some football game with friends. And even though it was just, I believe they said like 2 blocks that they had to drive because they didn't want to leave the car in some area, he got stopped, and eventually the police officer took him in to the police station, and something happened in there that his public defender actually turned him into ICE. Just remember that. His public defender turned him into ICE. He had to spend around a month in jail because he refused to sign his voluntary deportation. He knew his rights as an undocumented immigrant. And he was lucky that he knew his rights because he tells the story of how he met many older people in that jail cell and of how they were so desperate to get out, and they thought that if they didn't sign this voluntary deportation, that they would stay in there forever. So they decided, I'm just going to sign to just get out of here. And yeah, pretty much that's creating separation of families. But Rigoberto Padilla, he actually is like, no, I'm going to fight this because I have grown up in the United States. Here is the only place he knows. He knows nobody in Mexico. He cannot even speak proper Spanish, much less get an education over there. I mean, he probably could, but it would be super hard. So yeah, eventually I do give a presentation for my class, and I talk about Rigo's story. But during that class, at the end of the story, I decided to also talk about myself and to reveal my status as an undocumented person. To talk about the Dream Act, to talk about Rigoberto's story, but also to talk about my own story, which included a raid at my house when I was a sophomore of high school. And the reason for this raid was that my father, when I was a sophomore, he was currently working at the Sears Tower as a cook. But he was working with a fake social security number because that was the only way, it was a made-up number, the only way that he was able to find work. Otherwise, he will need to, I don't know how to find work. So pretty much, this was after 9/11. Everybody that worked in these big fancy buildings was being checked. And my father, along with other workers, he happened to get, attacked as a terrorist. for working without documents at the Sears Tower. And that is the reason why the FBI came to my house and not ICE. But at the moment that the raid happened, my father was not home because he had already left to his second job. So after that, I still remember until this day, like I have to live with PTSD because of that raid. As young as I was, I just remember this man with all of this stuff on him, just breaking into my dorm room when I was sleeping, and just that shock of waking up to this image is pretty much what triggered the PTSD. And I am not alone. This happens to many, many other children of immigrants.